Welcome back to Tales and Treasures. I'm your host Mr. Almeida, and today we're going to play and talk about Midtown Madness 3 on a brand new ongoing series called Back to the Past. This is where I will go through some of my absolute favorite childhood games and see if they still hold up, or was it just that as a child I didn't know any better. So, usually when people talk about car games that they love playing, they talk about Need for Speed, Forza, Gran Turismo, or even Burnout games. But they never mention Midtown Madness 3, which to me feels so weird because I absolutely love that game. It's the absolute best car game that I've ever played. And also, Midtown Madness 3 was made by some pretty famous Swedes. No, not Dolph Lundgren, but Digital Illusions CE, better known today as just DICE. I think it was supposed to come out as a launch title for the original Xbox in 2002, but it came out in 2003. It still came bundled with the original Xbox, and that's how I had it as a kid. Later, when I wanted to get it complete in box, I found out that it's actually a little hard to find. Luckily, I did manage to find it, but the details in the background, like the doves and garbage cans, are pretty nice actually. And the faces on those people are absolutely hilarious. But now, let's see what the game actually looks like. Why is it that every time I pick up an original Xbox controller, I get a little hungry? Now, the premise is pretty simple, just like me. You race a bunch and you earn more and better cars as you win races. And I just really like how many different racing modes there actually are. Here's the first mode, Checkpoint, where you race against 4 other racers and one of them is your nemesis Angelina from the career mode. And it always seems like she has better driving skills compared to the other NPC racers, which I think is a pretty nice touch. But she doesn't win every time compared to the other NPCs, so it doesn't get too repetitive. There are plenty of races, and they do get longer and harder. The second racing mode is called Blitz. In Blitz, you don't race against other drivers, but against the clock. And it doesn't make it any easier over Checkpoint mode. It's just as hard, if not even harder, because you can't run over the clock to get ahead. You actually have to be good and learn all the insane twists and turns and the exact spots to make a cut. And of course, as you earn those better and faster cars, it's easier to get new PRs, but first you only have a regular Opel or Mini Cooper. But I have noticed that sometimes to win a race, it's actually easier to win the race in a slower car. So if you get stuck on a certain race, go back, switch cars and see how it goes. Lastly, there's the career mode, which is a ton of fun as well. There are a lot of different jobs that you take, and the first one is delivering pizzas. And you can also earn cars from career mode, and they are specific to the job you're doing, like the pink Cadillac you use to deliver those pizzas. And later on there's more fun cars like limousines, taxicab, police car. And the awesomeness doesn't end there, because in addition to Blitz and Checkpoint, there's also a whole new set of jobs in the second city. It isn't just Washington DC, but also Paris! And both cities are really big and have a lot of huge, beautiful details, even though they aren't exact replicas of those cities. And in cruising mode, you can just drive around and behold those cities. Also, you can determine how many pedestrians there are and how much other cars. You can even have up to 4 cop cars to chase you if you like. But also, there are these spray paint cans floating around the city, and they are all named after certain cars. When you use that specific car, you unlock new paint jobs for them. It's actually a lot of fun, and many of them are actually pretty hard to get. and you have to try and find them too. Also, there was some DLC or Xbox Live content for this game, but I have never played it and I had never heard of it before. And it's not available anymore, at least by normal means, so I'm not gonna go into it, but I thought I'd mention it at least. Another interesting thing about this game is that it doesn't have any licensed music, like Burnout or Need for Speed games have. But I think that's a good thing, because sometimes these old songs can feel very dated. But the song that this game does have can get so annoying after a while. It's the same thing in a freaking loop, and it sounds like a bunch of cars honking their horns. But, but, this is one of the awesome things that the game has built in. You know that the original Xbox can copy music from CDs, so you can use those songs that you have copied on this game while you're playing. And that's just so much fun. Even if you were playing this game when it was new, or if you're playing it now in 2020, or whenever you are watching this video, you can have songs that you actually like, and the game feels like it's from today because you're listening to the songs that you love. I mean, who doesn't want to listen to their favorite songs while playing their favorite car game? I mean, that's just a tiny little thing to add in the game, but for me, it was always so amazing to actually listen to your songs through the Xbox while playing. Just pure awesomeness. Now, obviously this game doesn't have the best graphics, but good graphics doesn't automatically mean that it's a good game. Like Forza games, for example. For me, they're an absolute snooze fest. And talking about fests, don't even get me started on Wreckfest. Ugh. But yeah, the driving controls came back to me real quickly, and this game feels exactly like it did when I was a kid. It's so awesome. The driving in this game is very easy, and I feel like I know how the car behaves. Unlike in games like Forza, where I really just don't know how the car is supposed to work. I just keep crashing into walls because the car just won't turn in corners. And even though I've completed this game before and the driving in itself is easy, it still gives me a proper challenge. A challenge that comes from tricky and well thought out races and missions, all the while being so much fun. So Midtown Madness 3 really is my absolute favorite car game and one of my favorite games ever. I have really enjoyed playing this now, and I absolutely loved playing it as a kid, alone, and with my sister. It's just so much fun, and I really recommend people to play this if they have the chance. Unfortunately, it's not backwards compatible, so you would have to have the original Xbox to play it. And it's really weird that it isn't backwards compatible, because it was bundled with the Xbox and everything back in the day, so just really odd. Also, I feel like in addition to being backwards compatible, this game really should have had some sort of re-release. Maybe a remaster, or even a sequel. I don't know how well this game did when it was first released, but I feel like there would be a market for a game like this today. I mean, all the car games today are so hyper realistic and simulator like. Where is the fun in car games today? And also, think about the achievements you could add to Midtown Madness 3. There would be so many fun achievements or trophies if you're a PlayStation player. I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. Why won't you tell me down in the comments if you have any fond memories of Midtown Madness 3? Have you ever heard of it? Have you played it? Because for me, it totally holds up. It is the best car game of all time. But now, in the words of Jim Carrey, the time for talking is over, and it's time to push buttons. You know the buttons I'm talking about. The like, the subscribe, and the bell button. And if you haven't watched all my previous videos, you should go watch every single one of them. Go watch them. Now.